All right. So we're going to use the range rule of thumb to find a kind of a limit for when we're going to say this value is normal or this value is not normal. So here's how we do this. For most data sets, to find the minimum and maximum usual values, what we're going to do is we're going to find the mean and standard deviation. We're going to do this in terms of means and standard deviations. So a minimum usual value, what you're going to do is you're going to take your mean and subtract 2 times the standard deviation. To find the maximum usual value, you do your mean plus 2 standard deviations. So it says the following sample is made up of the lengths of 16 randomly chosen phone calls in minutes made by employees at a particular place of business. So we have this data right here, and we can see the first thing it asks for is the mean and standard deviation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Excel spreadsheet. We're going to clear out any of the data we have in there currently, and we're going to enter those data in there. So why don't you go ahead and try this with me. Let's put those data values in, and then we can compare in a second. All right, so I've got my data values in, and I'm going to take a look. I just double check to make sure they are all good. I think we're okay. So I can see my mean is 24, and then I just need to decide, am I going to pick sample or population? When you look at the problem itself, it says it's sample data, right? This information right here tells us that we're looking for sample data. So I can see that my sample standard deviation is 11.54. So we're going to use a mean of 24 and a standard deviation of 11.54. So the mean is 24 minutes, and then the standard deviation is 11.54. Now it asks for what would the unusual, or what would the maximum and minimum usual values be. So I like to do the small one first. The minimum would be, again, we're going to use these formulas up here. It's going to be 24 minus 2 times 11.54. And I can take care of that over here. So we're going to do 24 plus 2 times 11.54. And that gives me, oh, I should have done minus, I'm sorry. 24 minus 2 times 11.54. So my minimum value is 0.92 minutes. And an unusual, or our highest limit for maximum is 24 plus 2 times 11.54. And that one, I just did that in the calculator. If you take a look, this is 24 plus 2 times 11.54. So that's 47.08. All right, so it says, would it be statistically unusual for a call to last 3 minutes? Well, let's take a look over here. I like to look at this on a number line. So we said the smallest value is 0.92, and the largest value is 47.08. And so where would 3 be on this number line? 3 would probably be somewhere down here, right? If it's inside this value, we would say this stuff is usual or normal. If it falls outside of this range, we would say it's unusual. And we're talking about outside on either side, either over here or over here. So would it be statistically unusual for a call to last 3 minutes? We would say no, it's inside our normal range. Now, if I had a question about, say, something like a 60-minute phone call, well, 60 would be somewhere out here, so we would say 60-minute phone call would be considered unusual.